because it was the first thing for me too with this franchise. But I think I don't know necessarily if it was a scene, but it was just when we shot in Italy in New Moon. Because I think right at the beginning of this sort of monster as it grew, and we just got shuttled over to this beautiful Tuscan village with Luciano in it. It was just so bright and beautiful and with so much history, and then there was 5,000 fans just hacking this tiny little street, just scrambling up across the street. It was just a wild, crazy experience, and it was something I'm never going to forget.
Yeah, I echo the, I mean, that was certainly the most lavish it's been so far. I mean, I gotta tell you, Summit have done a great job in making us feel very special, even as sort of auxiliary actors in this franchise. We've been like treated, you know, I know some production companies and they do cut corners, but I think everyone's realised at Summit that they've really struck gold here, and they treat us very well. So that was bizarre because, you know, we were flying over there, all of us in first class, and there was Kristen and Ashley there. It was just a very surreal time of life, man. It was like literally 2 weeks after we first stepped onto the soundstage in Vancouver to start filming, and then we were all flying off to London. It was just bizarre. I would say that first scene in New Moon was the most special for me because it was just happening, and all of a sudden it was like, oh my god, I'm in Twilight. This is just insane. And like, it was a pinch me moment. I'm like, I'm actually in Twilight. I can't believe this. And the thing was, we were all crammed into this lift. There's like 6 of us in the space of like this very tiny elevator, and and it wasn't even scripted what we were supposed to do. And everyone else was just being still. And I'm like, the cameras were rolling. I'm like, I was looking around. I'm like, I don't feel very vampiric right now. Anyway.
Well, my question rolls off of that. I mean, being in this franchise, being part of this franchise, how has it changed you? I mean, do you have people running up screaming because you're the Volturi, or do you have girls running away because you're the Volturi? I mean, how does it change your personal life outside of the film?
I don't think it's changed my personal life at all. These films, I think for these ones, for some reason, I don't know, it's makeup, context, everything that's combined. I'm not that recognizable. Also, Vancouver, people think, boy. Yeah, people just kind of look at me like I play basketball or something like that. I don't know. It's personally not so much. Professionally, the great thing about these franchises is that they enable me to walk through doors unnecessarily who I was as an actor, which is all you really ask for. You just want to get in there, like, you don't. It's not like, oh, give me jobs. It's more or less, give me a chance to prove that I can get this job. And that's what you want as an actor. You just want to go in and say, I can do this stuff, and try. Whereas, you know, before, if you didn't have such a large franchise tag on your resume, you'd be like, now we'll pass on to someone else who may have something. You know, it's just the way the nature of this is. So.
Pulling it from you, but you can't.
I don't think it's changed me at all. I think my friends probably take me less seriously now than before. I was the guy from London who went off and just decided to become a Hollywood actor, and I told him I was going to do it like with a straight face, and no one really believed me. And then Twilight comes around, and it could not have happened on a larger scale, really.
Buddy's jokes now.
Yeah.
With this sort of.
But it's just funny, you know, like when something happens to you like this, and like I said, it's on a small scale, but I've got to add that, you know, I've done well in parlaying what success had with Twilight into other, you know, and I've suddenly started doing some big league roles and really going in the direction I wanted to go all along, you know, in spite of Twilight. You go back home to like small town England, and people just forgot what to say to you. I haven't changed at all. I've just continued doing what I've always done, but on like a professional level.
And it was just like, shit, he actually did it.
Yeah, it was just like, I think I've changed at all. Yeah. It's just not true, and I don't think I will ever change.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, I was kind of thinking, when you shoot stuff for a monster movie, you just hope your stuff gets moving. That's one thing. Yeah. I mean, you're like, okay, is this scene gonna stand? Oh, it's really good.
Yeah. You just never know with all that, all of that material, what has whittled down so much.
Daniel, describe being on the difference between being on the set of the X-Men movies and being on the set of Twilight.
I think the only really big difference is just the genre. Budgets. Well, I mean, I think the X-Men was in sort of more in the heyday when budgets were getting really, really big, and it was kind of the norm that they were that large. But I think the quality and the way it felt on both sets of this thing, it's still the same job. You're still going in to be an actor and play certain parts. So I don't know if it necessarily was different, except for the fact that we had that sort of ever-looming, don't show costumes, don't show this, a little more on the sort of Twilight franchise because of the amount of precedence around it, because of the monster it is. X-Men was very much hush-hush too, because it was the first time that certain characters were wearing certain things that was, you had to come up with. Other than that, I don't think a lot is really that different than I can think of.
When you're filming a movie, how much is kind of different? You talk to your friends, they can be there. You said that it's completely hush, you go home and you can't discuss what you did.
We were on New Moon, and there was these people outside. They were called. Do you remember those standing on the periphery of the studios? They were called confidentiality monitors or something. Yeah. And there was like 5 or 6 of these guys on the outskirts of the set. And they were there literally to sort of find photographers on there was one like,
Really armed?
yeah, literally they were, man, like they were concealed.
I mentioned
Some like laser pointers and stuff, just like, because there was this like big flyover viaduct thing.
That's what they did. All around, they would always have the laser pointers from the photographer. You start seeing flash, and they start getting them.
Yeah. Laser great, and then you really realize, okay, this is like right now the center of the universe.
yeah, everybody knows the keys.
Yeah.
It's like, I remember before I saw it, I had no idea who you were playing. I just like credits, and I was like, you come on screen as Colossus, like, yeah, that's who he's playing, but it was kept secret for a while. You know?
The strange thing was about the whole thing was that literally we were still in like the madness of it. Twilight comes to town and every photographer wanted that shot. And we were out with Melissa Rosenberg's, she put up a dinner for us, and I remember Rob outside having a cigarette, and me and you were there, standing right. I was just standing there, and he was cowering down by this massive plant pot. Me and Dan were in like the plain light of day. And he was carrying down there like, going, I don't know what these guys want, you know? I was looking at it thinking that is like a product.
Isn't that you always want to have a fun to go get, you want me to do this? Pose, flip against the rail a little bit. That's fine. Let's get into why this kind of play their game with them.
I guess so. I mean, I think just after a while, it gets pretty tiring. Just that's the thing that chase people around. That's the thing. It's strange. That's a whole other thing.
Have you both read the books?
I've read majority of them. I bought them all, and I wanted to do the research on them, which was funny in itself because the girl in the bookstore just looked at me funny when I got them all.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you want to buy those? Yeah,
Turn your main card.
I wanted to, I wanted to, you got to find out, like, this franchise started with the books. That's where the fan base came from. So you got to understand why it's so rabid, why it's so strong, and what Stephanie Myers wrote, and do some research, and that's what we want to try and do. For me, I want to try and find out who this character was and what makes him tick and all those things. So I just read through them as much as I could, and then I got to Breaking Dawn, and it was like this thick, and I was just trying to get it. I read the scrap, I'm not gonna lie.
It was exciting to pick those books up for the first time, knowing that you had a character of yours actually, in them.
I'm in this movie. Sure you are.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks that.
And especially Breaking Dawn as well, because it's the culmination. It's when the Volturi are most heavily involved. Therefore, it's always been building up to Breaking Dawn. Part 2, if you like. It's always been building up to this moment where we are the most dangerous. We're our most sort of formidable. We get to show off what we're made of. Certainly, my character is responsible for tracking. The reason they are confined by, to what extent they can hide this immortal child, so-called immortal child, is that Demetri, my character, his tracking abilities are unparalleled and they are flawless, so there's no getting away from, there's no hiding the baby. And furthermore, you know, Demetri is the reason why we just sort of turn up in the middle of a battlefield and we just know where they're going to be. And it's, yeah.
Is there anything you can tell us about the new ending of Breaking Dawn 2? It's said to be it's said to be different than.
Who said that?
It's just all over the web.
Where, which bit?
I know. All I know is that
this is what everybody
Which one?
Huh?
Who?
Oh, I'm just giving you the rabid fan.
Come on, man, you can't pass the buck. Who told you? Who told you?
The rabid fan.
But I've not heard this. I want to find out who it said.
Buckeyes.
this guy's going to investigate.
Yeah, no, it's my wife's in
real life.
And she just reads everything on the internet.
There's no truth out there. So
that's what I want to put on the side.
the thing is, there's no truth out there because the truth is the 16th of November, and therefore there's no point in even speculating about stuff that's just half truth, lies, and conjecture. So
there's a lot of apparently there's a lot of rumors and lies on the internet. Yeah, I'm just throwing it out there.
Well, every time you have a chest pain and you look it up, you're automatically having a story.
Yeah, you're good. And then it says take these drugs.
well, I don't understand it. I don't understand the point of speculation. It's to either slander things or to garner attention.
People are.
It's exactly right.
Well, the thing is, you can get into whole sort of we're in a now society, and patience is one of the things that is slowly going out the window.
Everybody is in this instant gratification.
That's the people in New York who can't
whole other
get their
matter.
followers right now.
Yeah, how funny is it? The power was out, the internet was still working.
The thing is, without speculation, the buzz is speculation. So it is there. It will always be there.
And this being the final massive film.
Yeah.
You know,
Is this the last film?
this is.
It's so weird how everyone's on this press tour. I've not heard any mumblings about
The lying internet.
an extra
Talking about it to continue on.
right, an extra movie. But everyone that's interviewed us has said, "Is there going to be another movie?" And I've not even heard it like an industry insider.
To tell you the truth, I have how much money you make. Well, hey, I mean, like if I took it from a perspective of somebody that owned this franchise, and I'm still making money, that's business, man. Business is to make money, and business is to do things.
Can you
For us, I have no
Can I just say what you can expect from the movie? What I can definitely say for sure is that everything, all the issues that were given so much air in the first one have all been resolved or continued really, really well. This movie sort of continues on from the first movie almost instantly, and to see Bella, as a vampire, it's just brilliant. It really just sort of ties up her arc in the whole saga, and the ability that she has is just frightening. You're watching it, and you're thinking, oh, this is cool, man. I'm like a guy watching it, and I'm thinking, it's really cool to see this transformation. And then you also have all these new vampires coming in, and we were obviously good friends with these guys. We spent a long time in Baton Rouge with them all, and each one of them has brought their game. Very good actors, by the way. Some really good actors in there. Specifically, the Romanians are hilarious. They're really, really funny, man. Like they steal the whole show.
Gary Weinberg,
Noel Fisher.
Yeah, Gary's he's great.
And everyone has their power as well. So it's a real sort of, you have to really sort of. There's no getting up and going to the toilet.
Pay attention to it. A lot comes at you.
On the thing about you guys have been around for 4 movies now, with the franchise. Tell a story from the set, practical jokes, what goes on with the film, who's the prankster?
I don't know if it's necessarily a prankster. Everyone has their day in the sun, but I think it's a regular. It's funny because it's a business. Do you know what I mean? It's a job. It's professional. You're doing your thing, but at the same time, it's just like any other place you're going around. I just can't think of anything. There wasn't like one specific person that was involved in pranks, but.
We were filming the confrontation scene at the end of Breaking Dawn Part 2 in Baton Rouge for 6 weeks, and it was such a logistical challenge because there's so much coverage from a movie making point of view. Everyone has to be in a certain place, and everyone was getting coverage, and we were all sort of pulled into set
Remember
in spite
the
of.
dance?
Yeah.
All the new vampires had, I guess, like, they created a whole dance number. and it was led by Tony Trucks. She plays Mary.
Mary.
And we didn't know this, and they had been rehearsing, because sort of like, there was a giant green screen, and behind that was mostly all of the stunt performers who were amazing in their own rights, and they were always rehearsing stuff, so we'd always kind of walk by, and we'd rehearse whatever else we were doing. And the other side, all these new vampires created this massive dance number, and all of us of the Volturi didn't know, and then all of a sudden they were doing this big, giant master wide shot, and what song was it that came on?
God knows.
I don't know, they cranked it. No, it wasn't I know, right? That wasn't out. And all of a sudden they did a full, like, dance battle, and we were like...
Is this a rewrite in the script?
Yeah, we had no idea. Well, it was crazy. It's real. He likes his music and stuff.
But on that note, I mean, like that really was the 7 weeks of really hard work on everyone's part, and everyone's sort of got a little restless by the end of it, wanting to get in there and do their bit. So there were definitely times for levity.
Daniel, what's your power as a vampire?
I don't know. It's funny. Charlie likes to make fun of me. It's just the ability to tear apart any other vampire. Just
the strongest vampire there is.
Yeah, just the most adept at ripping heads off, I guess. I mean, Charlie's character is unbelievably fast and can track anything around the world. And that's why the team works so well. He tracks, and then we show up, and he'll just.
Yeah, we're a good combination of two of us, really. And it's strange how similar we are. When we're born 5 days apart.
Yeah.
We both play rugby for like large amount of our youth.
In a kind of outdoor setting.
Whistler, loads of snowboarding, similar personalities.
And you both get hired, and you're like, wait a second.
Yeah. It's very strange. So strange.
You guys can move on to a different franchise of your choice. What would it be? What would be your dream role?
Right away, Bond. I would love to play a villain in Bond. I got a feeling though Javier Bardem really stepped it up in this. He did. You seen it?
Yeah, sure.
It's amazing. I'm a huge Bond film fan. I've been watching them ever since I was a kid.
I think for the first time in a while, there's a truly
This
good Bond
goes
film.
back to the originals.
Yeah.
It has that feel to it.
I want to get that 50-year box set.
Yeah,
It felt like the most complete Bond that I've seen.
Really?
Story, villain,
I think I would love to see this Twilight expanded. I think in this last movie you're going to see it really opens up the universe to what the possibilities of sort of like. I mean, everyone has their story. Yeah, because all these witness vampires come support the colours, and you suddenly realise that these guys exist all over the world in Stephanie Meyer's creation. And they all are like much more evolved vampires, if you like, than the Cullens. The Cullens are young and making mistakes, so that's the interest there. But really, it's like there's so much to sort of.
Well, just the backstory on the Volturi.
Yeah, exactly.
Do a whole movie on how they.
I mean, they were talking about a movie TV series. Yeah. I like
different vampire.
I like the feature film.
Yeah,
You don't want to get locked into the.
No, not saying that at all. I think TV, I would love to do something on TV. I'm just saying, I think that more leniency with to go certain places and to kind of highlight a bit darker sort of side of Volturi is, and then you can kind of explain the story a little bit better. I don't know.
it's interesting to me that Lionsgate have acquired something at this point.
It'd actually be really good to see from the point of view of the Volturi. I mean, we've gotten 5 films from the point of view of the Cullen. It'd be good to kind of turn around. Okay, let's see, like their point of view. Maybe it's not so villainous, but maybe it's a little bit Andy.
Trust me, all it takes is a yes from Stephanie Meyer. You know what I mean?
When she gets the paycheck for this latest film, she might get
The great thing,
She's the producer, so she gets the cut now.
the great thing about that too is for my feature for the Volturi, you have all these, like Charlie said, such interesting new vampires. You can highlight all of them because you can see it from a whole other angle, especially since these new vampires are so much older, have probably a long time at some point interacted with Volturi being the fact that we are the sort of governing body of all vampires.
Well, I've always liked movies that take a look at both sides, and get their both point of views, and then you see it go bad. I like to see the point of view.
The great thing about the Volturi is, and especially in this movie, you really do feel that sense of danger when we appear on the screen. And it really drops in, and you're suddenly like, wow, this is something we haven't seen before. Like even in New Moon, it was kind of like, yes, we're here, it's dangerous, but we've come to actually sort things out.
The stakes are a lot higher now.
Actually incurred our wrath, and now it's time for a bit of a.
It's been kind of teased.
Yeah, it's trouble time for sure.
What's the worst and best part of your guys' jobs?
No,
I think
really
the
that bad.
only bad thing that I can think of is that when you're working on a film, they end. You know what I mean? So it's a good and a bad thing in the same light, because I got into this industry a lot because I like new things. I like to be creative. I like to be challenged, and I like things to switch up. I can't be the same thing all the time, or else I'll go crazy. So one, it's too bad the film that you were working so hard on and busting your ass on and creating so much, and at the same point you have this broad world of chances and opportunities to be on something else.
But it's like bittersweet. Sad to see it end, and then so many doors go for next.
That's the thing with TV is like it almost doesn't end. It keeps on going, and that's for me, like things come to an end. Experiences are experienced. You know, the shorter they are, the more condensed. The more impactful it is, the sharper the learning curve was. And like I said, I got into this because I just wanted to be myself and in a broader context and actually make some money and be successful creatively. And I see my job as just being an adventurer. I just sort of morph into, or comedian-like walk into a scenario and be part of it and tell the story.
A chance to do what you love for a living, that's the dream.
Absolutely, and be so many people and explore so many different cultures. And it's like the best way to travel. It's the best way to meet new people and to understand people. And I think empathy is a huge part of our job, and I think it's a huge part of human evolution. So it really ticks all boxes for me.
As you said, I mean, just getting the chance to maybe get into the rooms and audition for stuff. Because doing stuff like this, and it's really getting now, you get noticed, now you have a chance to, you say, get in there and get me a good role. It's like, I can't layer it down here.
I think, excuse me, without this, it would have been some more years of trying to knock down doors before all of a sudden, like, in the summertime, I had an audition with Aaron Ariosky, and I'm in there meeting him for the first time and kind of shitting my pants. But
Don't quote that.
Just nervous because you need someone to respect, and you're in there trying to, you developed some character, and you're working on this, and you're hoping that he likes your choices. So it's just cool to meet people that you respect and you get excited about working with.
It's nice to see just even a few dreams come true. Like, you get a chance to do something like that. That's it.
Ultimately, dreams are quite a selfish thing, and really the place I think both of us are sort of journeying into is a place of like, I want to produce, I want to put out there the way I see the world, and that the medium of film also gives us that license and that gift really. Film is such a broadly appreciated form of education, whether it be subliminal or whether it be direct. We are all influenced by films, and almost emulate our favourite stars, even if we don't realise it. It's sort of set a new standard for humanity, if you like. I think we definitely have a burden to uphold there. And it's nice to be in that position of voice and knowing, especially having done Twilight, that people actually listen to that voice.
Well, it's good to hear you said that the whole set team to take care of all the actors, not just the actors.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's so important, man. Like, they didn't have to do that, but it's really gone all out.
If we saw a movie, it's like a family atmosphere, you all kind of get in one ship and you better make a product and you jump off and
Well, you'd hope so, but there's obviously a lot, film is such a huge it's such a huge political game as well. And unfortunately, most people have some sort of play in that. So it's all about the art.
From an actor standpoint, when you guys first started acting, did you guys just create different characters, or do you see yourself as just playing a certain character? Or do you guys like what would be a challenging role for anyone, right?
I mean, for me, when I got into acting, it was because I was creating characters in the classroom, and my teachers were going freaking crazy. I was just like, just wouldn't stop. I was full of energy, and so I was sent to drama class, and they just said, like, you know, you can go and be all these characters, and they applaud you for it. And so that was kind of how I got into it. As for the second part of the question, I think I just want to keep challenging myself. I don't want to just sort of I hate to have to go play a character that's just so like simple. You know what I mean? Like that's the last thing you want to do is play a character that I don't want to have. It's easy. In a way, I want to play characters that challenge myself. I want to play things that create characters that people would sort of go, wow, I did not see him go. Yeah, you know what I mean? Just like you challenge me some things that scare me.
I think it's the scariest thing for an actor would be that acting is kind of walking apart when you kind of challenge yourself.
Yeah, we've actually we've got a script, a substantial script. We researched by speaking to thousands of veterans, hundreds of veterans. Last year, around the country, spoke to these guys, and we just completed the script. So it's a 367-page script, which is way too long. We're actually trying to find a top-notch script doctor to bring it down to size. It's about 2.5 hours. So that's exciting, but it's probably a way away yet to go through. I've got a Viking movie called Hammer of the Gods, which I need to cast in that. A great cast of British, really good British actors, and that comes out in 2013, April 2013, and a Luc Besson movie called Intersection that I filmed earlier in the year as well. And then, which I mean, I went to Luc Besson's place in Normandy, where he produces his movies, and it's just like the most it's so inspiring. It's like a creative mecca. It's certainly sort of pushed my thinking towards producing for sure.
Sorry, did I cut you off?
No, I've got Halo web series, live action web series that we did. Just the last episode on Mission of Friday today, and then the full 90-minute movie comes with a game, which is really cool. I got to play the Master Chief. And then I got a movie called Baytown Outlaws, which is this redneck action comedy. I play this middle brother who's sort of dealing with rednecks. It was a lot of fun. Shot in Louisiana, and a lot of guns, a lot of shooting, a lot of killing, a lot of swearing. But great comedy in there too. Great story. That comes out